Watch it. This is asked in GATE 2003. The question is, which of the following is not advantage of using shared dynamic linked libraries as opposed to using statically linked libraries? So they are saying that if we use dynamic libraries, which one is not the advantage? So if you have to note one thing here, they are clearly saying not an advantage. So you'll get confused in such questions. You have to read and understand the question thoroughly. They are not asking about what is the advantage of dynamic shared libraries. They are saying what is not an advantage of dynamic shared libraries. Okay. So one advantage, okay, let's see each one of them and then let's check whether it is advantage or disadvantage by using dynamic shared libraries. Size of the executable file becomes smaller. Answer is yes. The reason is when we have dynamic sharing, we are not actually going to have the object code of the library functions inside our executable code. That will be referred later, which is loaded separately. Therefore, our executable code size is going to be very small by using dynamic linking. So this is an advantage. And next one is lesser overall page fault rate in the system. So they are saying that the page fault rate in the system is going to be decreased because of dynamic linking. It is not true. The reason is if you don't have, if you have dynamic linking, the problem is sometimes the library which you are referring may not be present in the memory and it has to be loaded. In case if you have static linking, then whatever you wanted might already be present in your program and therefore it will be loaded along with your process. So by using this static linking, we'll always ensure that if the process is entirely present in the memory, then the dynamic library is also present. I mean that library is also present. But then here by using dynamic libraries, we cannot assure that, which means there can be page fault possible in case if the dynamic library is not present in the memory, right? So lesser overall page fault is actually false, right? It creates more page fault. So it is not an advantage. And faster program startup. So using dynamic linking, the program will start faster. The reason is compiling is simple and linking is simple especially. So linking we need not link everything together. And moreover, loading will be simple because we need to load only small part of the program, right? So one more thing, loading is nothing but copying something from hard disk and writing it on the main memory. Therefore, the load time actually depends on the size of the process. So if we decrease the size of the process, the load time is going to decrease and the startup time is also going to be faster. So faster program startup. And next one is existing programs need not be relinked to take the advantage of newer version of libraries. It is an advantage. The reason is if you change the version of the libraries, you need not again relink the program. The reason is if you change the library, you just change the code where it was loaded, but then the pointer will still be there. It is like this. See this. Now if it is your process and at some point it is referring to the library dynamically, right? And if the version of this library is 1.0 and if you want to change the version of the library to 1.1, just replace this with the code of 1.1, right? Or if you already have 1.1 somewhere, you just change this pointer here. You need not again compile it and then link it again, so that all headache will be less. So it is an advantage. So only thing which is not an advantage is this. So lesser overall page fault, which is fault. Actually page faults might increase. Got it? So this is about the linker, advantage of dynamic linking. Okay, fine.